I'm recording this one a bit earlier in the day, and we already know the results of the second GOP, or I should say the second speaker vote. Jim Jordan can't win. And as I am recording this, we have the real-time tracker up right now. And as we can see, there are already too many Republican votes for other candidates, for other individuals. That will mean that Jim Jordan cannot win. Yeah, okay. At this point, I hope Hakeem Jeffries wins. I mean, not literally, but like kind of. And I'll explain why. And then we'll talk about this. Look, Mike Kelly voted for Boehner. Come on. I think it was Mike Kelly. And you've got people who aren't even in Congress, who aren't even worthy of the position getting these votes. There's no reason not to vote for Jim Jordan. The idea is that everyone should be getting together to move forward so that we can figure this thing out. Me, I'm kind of happy with the paralysis of Congress. I don't care if they have a speaker or not. I think it's good that Matt Gaetz got McCarthy ousted. And it's funny because people need to realize it was the great Democrats who voted to remove Kevin McCarthy. You know what I'd do if I was a Democrat right now? If I was a Democrat, I would get a handful of my Democrat buddies and be like, I am done giving them this waste of time. I'm voting for Jim Jordan. I mean it. If the Democrats were in a similar position, and they were with Nancy Pelosi, I'd come right out and I'd just be like, yeah, I'm going to vote for Pelosi. No joke. No kidding. You know why? Because they're wasting all of our time. There's no point. Okay. But to be fair, in all seriousness, my point is not so much that I would literally vote for Nancy Pelosi. It's that get on with it. Right. In all seriousness, if I was actually in Congress ever, I'd probably jam it up as well. It's probably better. There is no speaker. But the problem here is it's complicated. They're trying to get this McHenry, temporary. Mike Kelly is drafting a bill to expand the powers of the pro tem to give the pro tem Speaker of the House, temporary, more powers, which would effectively make him a de facto speaker. And we don't want that. But here's my point about Hakeem Jeffries and why I'm facetiously, to a certain degree, being like, yeah, vote for him. Republicans, I hope he wins. When Kevin McCarthy was the Speaker of the House only a couple weeks ago, he was cutting backroom deals with Democrats to give Democrats what they wanted. Why? Because he couldn't cut deals with Republicans? Because they wanted funding for war. At least with Hakeem Jeffries, you get some benefits to the knife in your back, right? Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker means that Democrats will structure things in a way that despite not having the majority, they will basically function as though they do. But now you will know that you're being screwed over. And you can look to all the Republicans who did not want to vote for Jim Jordan as the reason you got screwed over. Right? Now, Jeffries can't win because it would be political suicide for any Republican to vote for Jeffries. But the argument is the Democrats may go to some of the more, quote unquote, moderate Republicans, which they're not moderates. They're coward Republicans, I'd call them, and argue that vote for Jeffries so that we can just get a speaker and move on and we'll cut you some deals. If that's the case, change the R to a D. That's not going to happen because the inverse is happening. Across the board, Democrats are quitting or becoming Republicans. But here's the big point right now. As we watch Jim Jordan lose second vote. For one, part of me feels, guys, just vote for Jim Jordan. Who cares? Okay. McCarthy didn't work out. We'll try it again. I don't see why they're not voting for him. I don't know what the point is. The more libertarians are going to be just laughing and being like, this is hilarious. I just find it absolutely hilarious because, who cares? Congress sucks. The American people don't care for this institution. So what does it matter? There are people who are saying, I tweeted out, I hope Hakeem Jeffries wins. And people are like, what? Why? Why would you say that you've been hacked? And it's like, dude, the machine, Granger, the machine is fake. Kevin McCarthy stabbed y'all in the back. We weren't getting what we needed. He was playing politics as usual. We weren't getting anything legitimate. With the same degree of power, Nancy Pelosi, they had the January 6th commissions against Donald Trump. And we get the weaponization of government, but come on. Take the mask off. Just let everybody know exactly how this machine operates. It's the lying I can't stand. Here's the Daily Mail. Jim Jordan has failed a second ballot for Speaker on the House floor in a defeat that could spell the end for his bid for the Republicans' top job. Once the vote opened, a handful of disgruntled Republicans immediately voted against Jordan. putting down Kevin McCarthy's name. Actually, this is really interesting. Let's take a look at this. Jordan actually lost votes. Vern Buchanan in Florida originally voted for Jim Jordan and now voted for other. Drew Ferguson in Georgia voted for Jim Jordan, now voted for Scalise. Marionette Miller Meeks in Iowa, originally for Jordan, now voted other. Doug LaMalfa originally voted for McCarthy, now voted for Jim Jordan. So I think there's one so far. This is a real, like they're voting right now as I'm recording. One McCarthy vote switched to Jordan, but he's already lost more. So it's not going to happen. And I don't know what their reasoning is. Several people voted for McCarthy again. Honestly, I say this, good for them. I'm glad they're sticking up for what they believe in. But the libertarians are all probably celebrating, saying that a paralyzed Congress is better than a functioning Congress, because Congress doesn't function properly anyway, right? All right. Here's the issue. We know they don't care about our opinions. We know they don't care what we think. We know they're going to vote for 5,000-page omnibus bills to fund gender studies in Pakistan. So in the meantime, who cares? Who cares? That's what these are kind of a series of points that I'm making. I don't want Hakeem Jeffries to win. I'd rather have Jim Jordan. But here's what we have to look forward to. Jeffries wins. He won't. But if he did, the mask is removed and we can see him operating the same as Kevin McCarthy would operate. Ha ha ha. Nobody wins. We get paralysis, which is better than a lot. Jim Jordan wins, and then we'll carry on as usual, and we'll be let down by Jim Jordan as he compromises and cuts deals. I don't know. Maybe in all seriousness, paralysis is what we need. Just let Congress be jammed up, because their approval rating is what, like 18%? They said the House has been engulfed in chaos for 15 days since McCarthy was ousted. I'm glad he was. Dave Joyce of Ohio is expected to nominate Patrick McHenry for the top job on a short-term basis following Jordan's defeat. However, support for that move is divided among Republicans, so it's not going to happen. But, you might end up seeing Democrats support that, so they'll get the votes they need to pass that draft. But here's the issue. Democrats are they're not going to deviate. They should. Several Democrats could undermine the negotiating power of these rebellious Republicans. Just undercut them. And I guess the issue is it's so tribal that would never happen, but it could have happened a long time ago. Imagine if several Democrats went to, people are talking about how the fear is that Hakeem Jeffries could win if these moderate Republicans, they call them moderates, the wrong way to describe them. They're cowards. They won't, just fight for what's right. They're like, I don't know what side to take. But they're saying, but they could vote for Jeffries. Okay, what if Jordan goes to some more moderate-leaning Democrats and says, we'll work with you on some deals, just vote in favor of Jordan. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying it could go the other direction as well. That's basically what Kevin McCarthy was doing. They say Dave Joyce is going to nominate McHenry. On Tuesday, 20 Republicans voted against Jordan, destroying his chance to become Speaker of the first ballot. We then finally get the vote beginning today, and already he's lost more votes. There was some text message. This is amazing. They said it was sent to Angie Bacon. Your husband better support Jim Jordan, read one of the messages. Your husband will not hold any political office ever again. What a disappoint and failure he is. Bacon voted for McCarthy on Wednesday, landing another blow to Jordan's vote tally. And then they mentioned several others who voted. Vern Buchanan voted for Byron Donalds. I like Byron. I'll take it, right? In a flip from his Jordan vote. Wow, that's crazy. Man, that's really crazy. Wow. Ken Buck vowed to never vote for Jordan. Voted again for Tom Emmer. So stupid. Jordan was also slammed for using intimidation tactics over the weekend to try and get GOP holdouts to support his bid for Speaker. His office has disputed those claims. He spent the weekend pressuring holdouts to vote for him, with the unspoken threat that not doing so could put them at risk of a primary challenge, given Jordan's popularity with grassroots conservatives. I think some of it did backfire, and I think it was to the detriment of Jim. Jim didn't necessarily support the strategy, added fellow Ohio Representative David Joyce. Former President Trump endorsed Jordan for the top position. Okay, well, here's the game we play. These people, they're probably in swing districts. They probably are worried about holding office as it is. Man, I have no faith in the talent of our members of Congress. I do not understand how Jim Jordan is unable to secure the votes. Seriously. It may be that he goes to a member of Congress and says, will you vote for me? And they go, nope. Well, why not? It's not about you, Jim. It's about what they did to McCarthy, and I'm not for it. And it's just like, okay, would you write that down for me? Like, tell me what they're saying. This is what I would do. If I was in Jordan's position, let's pull a random name. I go to Don Bacon, and I'd say, Donnie boy, why won't you vote for me? No, I'm not telling you you have to. I'm just asking you, like, what do you need? What's the conundrum? He tells it to me. I'm like, okay, can you write that down and sign it for me? Just so that, like, we can have on the record, I'm going to tell people, like, this is how Don feels. This is how we feel. That's what I'd do. I go to Vern Buchanan. I guess he's the guy who voted for Byron Donalds. And I'd be like, why'd you vote for Byron Donalds? And write it down for me. I go to Lori Chavez. I say, write it down for me. I go to Mario Ballard. I say, write it down for me. And then I say, I want everyone to see what their issue is. That's it. In their own words. You know why? Because they know what that means. It means they will not get reelected. That's it. No matter what their positioning is, it means that they're not going to get reelected. It's not about threatening anybody. It's about saying, look, man, like you do you. You work towards what you think you got to do. Many of these people are taking a stand for whatever reason they're taking it. I just asked you write it down. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to go on TV and misquote you or misstate whatever it is you're doing. You clearly made your vote. I'm just asking you you write down what it is and put out a statement and let people see how you feel. Because guess what? Donald Trump is polling above 50%. His favorability is above Joe Biden's. I don't see these people. I don't see them getting reelected. I don't. And I think that's the real fear a lot of them have. They're in moderate swing districts or whatever. Okay. If you need these votes, do you think losing the Trump base is going to help you win? No, I get it. You're thinking like, I got to convince middle of the road people to vote for me, man. I got to convince Democrats to vote for me. Well, you just lost the entire Trump base, which is substantially larger. So good luck. Just write down. I don't know. I wanted to cover this in an earlier segment, but it's just like it's an ongoing news thing. So we'll definitely have more to say on this later tonight on Timcast IRL. But the next segment is coming up at actually, I think the next segment is coming up at Timcast IRL. So go to youtube.com/TimcastIRL. We'll follow up on this, and I'll see you all then.